Hello and welcome to this little showcase video where I'll show you the new atmosphere fog which I added to the Terrain Remix Brushes in Blender. And as you can see, we have this asset here down under the asset browser. You can find it under scattering. It's called atmosphere fog. Now what happens if I drop this into the scene? We will see a lot of fog already. I'm gonna change the rotation of this object to 0. Let's quickly open a second window here with a 3D view so we can see what's actually happening. And now here we have a cube. This big cube is called atmosphere fog, and what happens is that a lot of little particles get plugged into the volume, and this scatters a lot of particles around the air inside of this cube, simulating the look of atmospheric fog. Now here we have a little plane. This is the plane which creates the shadows on this terrain. I just added it for artistic reasons. Let's close this area here again, and let's have a look at the material for this fog. Now there's two types of fog here. You can use either the volume scatter or the emission fog. And the volume scatter takes a bit longer to render, but it's more realistic because the emission shader places a lot of little emitting particles everywhere, and so they can illuminate some areas where there's less light usually bouncing. And yeah, there's also these two devices here. There's one for changing the atmosphere fog setting and one for changing the low fog setting. Now let's have a look. The low fog, if we change the density to 1, we can have a better understanding of how this works. It's basically a fog which collects on the bottom of the valleys. We can change the height by changing the fog height here. And we can change the noise scale and the influence of this noise. Then we can change the distance from camera. And if we go up, you can see the fog starts disappearing because we get closer to the view, to the camera. But I'm gonna leave this at a low value. And I'm gonna go back to a normal density, something like this maybe. And let's have a look at the atmosphere fog. The atmosphere fog is basically the same, but I just go down with the density and I go up with the height, because I can choose to put fog everywhere under a certain value. So here it puts fog just maybe until the top of the mountain. And yeah, for this also it's recommendable to make the density much less than the low fog. And last thing, you can change the color of the fog. Here, say we live on an alien planet or on Mars with a lot of red dust flying around, we change the color of the fog to red. But here on this beautiful scene, we're gonna go back to a bluish color, which looks quite realistic. So yeah, as you can see, this is how we work with the fog scattering. I hope you're gonna enjoy using it.